Well, that's enough killer pianas and toys for me. Oh, jeez. Ta-da! Benny loves you! Welcome to 31 Days of Horror, guys. I am Morgan Film Fan. Welcome to another day of scares, and let's get into some. Kind of, because this is a horror comedy. First, I'm going to start off by saying that this is the best film I've seen so far since day one, which is kind of unfair because it is a horror comedy. It's not a straight-up horror. That would probably go to Metamorphosis on day 9, I'm pretty sure. But this film is a doozy. Might be the best horror comedy I've seen, if not ever, at least in the last decade for sure. It's a British film, and it came out in 2019, and it's about a toy that goes a little insane when his owner decides to basically put him downstairs in the basement and not have anything to do with him again. So, first of all, at the beginning of the film, before the opening credits, starts off with this crazy little girl who just, her way of getting anything is just screeching at the top of her lungs. Even like calling her mom, she's like, ah, or whatnot, and that's how she gets her attention. Most bratty kid I've ever seen. And she doesn't want to play with her teddy bear anymore. She wants a dollhouse and Barbies and whatnot. And that teddy bear ends up becoming a little evil afterwards before the credits roll. But after that little introduction, you're introduced to this guy named Jack. And Jack is a bit of a 35-year-old loser and doesn't have much going for him, doesn't have the best job. And he is having a lot of trouble at work because he works for a toy advertising company. Like, he's basically a small-time executive for toy advertising, and he's having a hard time with the biggest jerk in the company who seems to be progressing on everything and acting like a complete dick. This guy is very hilarious. His name is Richard, or Richard as he likes to be called. Jack is having a really hard time with all of this, and after a tragic thing that happens with his parents, he basically inherits the house but is having a hard time paying for it, and he gets into this whole like inspiration mode where he's listening to those like inspiration tapes that motivate you, and he decides to kind of change his ways by kind of changing his life around. Anyway, he has this childhood toy that he's obsessed with, and he puts him in the basement, this toy named Benny that he basically grew up with. And this toy, after that, basically is coming alive and doing anything to show how much Benny loves Jack, and will do anything at all, including kill some people. Eventually, this film progresses to a place where all these bodies are showing up, and but Benny's always like showing ways to, or that's his way of showing his love for Bill Kenner. It reminds me of another film that I've seen, where this toy is like, or this robot or something is doing, the Child's Play remake, kind of like that situation, but way funnier. Like, this character is a complete joke. He's not. It's like an episode of Sesame Street with Elmo on crack but killing everybody. It's insane. I so highly recommend this film. Honestly, I think I would give it a 98 out of 100. Why out of 100? Because I hate decimals. There's a part as well as the film progresses where Jack finds a way to use the toy to as a marketing gimmick, and since the toy's alive, he uses the toy to make these kind of monster playing cards and comic books and stuff like that, and it actually gets him a big promotion. So his life starts to get a little bit ahead, and he's competing with that. But this toy is interfering completely with his life, including a girl that he gets involved with. And man, is this film so brilliant with its directing. And I think my favorite aspect of it is the editing. The editing is so quirky. It's a British film, so it can be dry. The humor is black as hell. There's things that will make you laugh your ass off, but have your jaw hit the floor at the same time. There's a part where he's on a date with this girl closer to the beginning of the film, and for some reason she's afraid of all his toys. Comes out of nowhere, but then she like falls on the bed and sees a poster of Lara Croft and starts screaming at that as well. I found that pretty insane. Let me just say, without spoiling anything, that there is one hell of a murder involving a birthday party. It is a doozy of a scene and something that I couldn't even imagine writing. I don't think I can imagine writing anything in this film. It's absolutely so brilliant. Like I said, the editing style is just so quirky and sarcastic. Especially sarcastic, like, I don't know, it's hard to describe unless you've seen it, but it's kind of more of like a fast-paced film. There's things and elements about the filmmaking style of it that really reminded me of Shaun of the Dead, especially closer to the third act, that I was wondering if the director was involved with Shaun of the Dead. He wasn't, though, at all. But it had that feel when it comes to the horror comedy. You get some dramatic things here and there, but it really, really sticks to horror comedy. Primarily, there's a part where Benny is he like basically murders all the toys, and he uses spaghetti to he puts spaghetti all over the toys, and obviously the spaghetti is supposed to resemble like intestines and guts and shit like that. And I just found that hilarious. There's also, actually, I'm not going to say that one part for spoilers. It's one thing about these reviews. I want to keep them as vague as possible and probably do like spoiler reviews later on that'll be much more longer and much more in depth. But just to keep it vague for now. There's really, really funny scenes that are clever as hell. There's parts where the toy basically acts like a crazy psycho girlfriend in toy form. It's really funny. The things he writes on the wall, like there's a part. What does he say? Birdie ditch, as in dirty bitch. But instead of saying dirty bitch, he writes birdie ditch. Probably be saying birdie ditch a lot from now on. I found that hilarious. And then I'm just gonna leave it off with, for anybody who's seen the film, the coffee shop scene where Richard is meeting the love interest, not for a date or anything, but he's with the love interest, and Benny, because he plans on using Benny to up himself in the company because he's a dick, and then Jack shows up and Benny doesn't come alive for a while, and obviously Richard thinks he's crazy, and then there's a pretty big scene with a lot going on that happens after that. Something you just have to see, and it's hilarious. Benny's behaviors on everything he does probably was done with a lot of CGI. I wouldn't doubt. And there's scenes that he looks like he looks like CGI, but the CGI makes him look like a teddy bear. Like, I don't think this whole film was just puppeteering. I think there's a lot of scenes because of how fast he moves and what he does that is definitely some CGI enhancements. But it looks great. Benny's hilarious. Benny's one of the best killer toys you could get. It's just so good. The song choices in this film too. There's brilliant songs, none that I've ever heard of, but just ones that sound brilliant. For some strange reason with the scene, like there will be like very poppy electronic songs that'll come up every once in a while, and they just work with what's going on. I really, really liked it. I can't praise this film enough. So Benny Loves You is a high recommendation. It also comes with, which I found really cool, the alternate cover. I kind of like that one a lot, especially with that little green horror symbol. So I might even start using that one. And this was released by Dread, and it is a collector's series because it has the number 33 on the spine. So this is a collector's series of multiple films. I'm not one of those people who collects every single one, but yeah, if anybody does, that's available there. And pretty much going to leave it at that, because I think I covered everything that I don't want to, that is not a spoiler, that I don't consider a spoiler. But like I said, I want to keep these as vague as possible and save the spoilers for later if I ever review any of these films. This is a film I probably would get really in depth with and make like half-hour video because I could talk so much about this film. But as for now, that was Benny Loves You. I highly recommend it. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews, and I'll be back with more real soon. So until then, take care and cheers.